G'day everybody, it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, and so I wanted to start by actually sharing a little bit of my own mental health journey. One of the things I've really struggled with in my life is depression. When I was a teenager, I was extremely depressed, and to be honest, people didn't talk much about depression in those days. I've also, as an adult, struggled with depression, and as an adult, I think I experienced it far worse, even though I knew what it was. And at times, I've gone on antidepressants to help me through that. So, the first thing I want to say about mental health is that everybody struggles at some time in their life. And getting that help that you need, whether it be counselling, of which I've had hours and hours, whether it be antidepressants, of which I would not hesitate to go back on if I needed, or whether it's just saying to your friends, I'm not doing well, I need a bit of help, I'm just struggling a bit at the moment. That should be the norm. That should be perfectly accepted, because as I said, we will all struggle at some point. The second thing I want to say, particularly about depression, because that's where I have the most experience, is that what I learned from depression is that it can actually be a gift. There are some types of depression where it's actually your soul telling you something. It's a deeper part of yourself saying, hey, there's something wrong. You are not living in a healthy way. You are not being true to yourself. This is not the life you were meant to live. And certainly, as I made my way out of depression, and with counselling and help from others, I realised that a lot of my depression came down to the fact that I was too concerned with living my life according to what others wanted for my life, or according to what others would like. And I'd lost touch with the quiet inner voice that we all have that says, this is who I am. This is what it means to be me and to be true to me. There are so many pressures on us. There's societal pressures, school has its pressures. Probably most importantly though, there is this subtle peer pressure to not stand out, not to be too weird or too different, or to look like a particular kind of success. There's a pressure to be a particular kind of person that's held up as the ideal or the goal of what a successful person looks like. This is unhelpful. Success is different for everybody, and everybody has a different way they are meant to live their life. We are all meant to live different lives and to look different. We have rules and we have certain things that we have to conform to in order to all live together. Those things are necessary. It would be chaos without it. But within the confines of those rules and systems, we also need to make sure we are being true to ourselves. There's a really great story I love from a guy called Ken Robinson, who was an educational expert. And he tells the story of a little girl who was taken to a special education psychologist by her mother. Her mother took her to the psychologist because her teachers had said, look, this little girl cannot concentrate in class. She never seems to get any work done. She's just very fidgety and she cannot focus at all. Because of that, she's testing very poorly. In fact, we think that she might have some kind of serious learning disability. And so the psychologist met with this little girl and her mother, and he talked with the mother and the little girl, and he noticed that the little girl sat on her hands so that she wouldn't fidget throughout the interview with the psychologist. She was very keen to make a good impression. She didn't want to have to go to a special school for children with learning disabilities. And so she tried her best to sit still and to listen. But it wasn't long before she began to fidget and move around in her seat. After a while, the psychologist said, thank you, actually, you stay here, to the little girl. He said, and can I just please talk to your mother? And so he left his office with the girl sitting there. He said, you just sit still here. But as he left, he turned on the radio beside his desk, which had some music playing. And he took the mother outside his office, and there was a little door on his office, a glass window, and he said to the mother, "Just wait here for a moment." And they watched as the little girl sat in her seat for as long as she could, until finally she couldn't resist any longer, and she jumped out of her seat and she began dancing around the room to the music. And it was clear to both the psychologist and the mother that this girl had amazing rhythm and was an amazing dancer. The psychologist turned to the mother and he said, "Your daughter doesn't have a learning disability. She's a dancer. She is somebody who needs to move in order to think." This little girl went on to become a very famous ballet dancer, joined the Royal Ballet, and then went on to become a choreographer of several ballets and became a very famous person in the end. This story illustrates just the way that society and the expectations that are put on us can often squash who we really are. My experience of depression is that our soul's way of saying, "I'm being squashed. You're not listening or being true to your real self, that inner voice that's in me." There's a quote that I love, and it's actually right on my wall here, from a spiritual teacher called Osho. Osho says, "Be the person you are. Never try to be another, and you will become mature." Maturity is accepting the responsibility of being oneself, whatsoever the cost. Risking all to be oneself, that's what maturity is all about. And that is why we're here. That is the purpose of our lives. We did not come to this place, to this planet, to this existence, in order to be a functioning member of the economy, to keep the wheels of the economy turning over. We did not come here to earn the applause of other people or to be a success in other people's eyes. We came as a person with particular gifts to offer. And the gift that we have to offer is who we are. That's our number one job in life, is to offer who we are. When we are stifled, or when we accept the criticism or the repression of the world around us, and we shut down who we really are, we become sick. And a lot of mental health is a result of us not making room for ourselves, or others not making room for us. There's a great quote that I love. It has been quoted in the movie Coach Carter, and it says this: "Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, well, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So as we go into the holidays at the end of this week, I want you to think about the direction your life is taking. Is your life just becoming a matter of pleasing your parents, your teachers, society, your peers? Are you just being the person that you think everyone else wants you to be? Do you know how to find that voice that says, "This is who I am"? Or have you lost touch with it? Because knowing yourself, that is the number one rule of life. The second rule is to have the courage to be yourself. Be who you are. You know I'm free.